Two, one. Good afternoon, everyone, from a rainy spring afternoon in Lolo, Montana, Dunrovin Ranch. We are again with our wonderful friend Brandon Carpenter to do some teletraining with Augie and Nicole. Hello, Brandon.
Hey, how are you guys doing? You say it's a rainy spring? It's a snowy winter over here.
I know you got the worst of it this week. It's supposed to be precipitation all this next 5 days, alternating snow and rain on this side of the divide.
It sounds kind of like what we're going to be getting, similar to it. A little colder temperatures, I think, but wet is wet. And this is the first time in a long time I've been up to my butt in mud, and I should never complain, but it sure gets hard to slog around in this stuff for us and the animals.
But I did hear on the radio this morning that eastern Montana now has 290% snow accumulation, and that's really good for cutting the drought.
Well, yeah, that's only up in the upper northeast portion of the state. Where we're at about 117% snowpack, something like that. So we're just barely above normal. But yeah, that northeastern area is they've got all kinds of snow, which is fantastic.
Yeah, well, good for them. All right, I see Nicole out there with Augie, and she is getting ready, and Augie's already listening to her. I think she has developed quite the relationship with both Jax and Augie, thanks to you. So at this point, I'm going to exit and hand it over to all three of you.
All right. How are you doing, Nicole?
I'm doing all right. How are you, Brandon?
Just okay? Come on, you can do better than that. Where's your little umbrella that you're wearing? Don't you have one of those little umbrella hats? You should have.
I don't. I should, though.
Well, good. Well, tell us what you've done with Augie this week. Have you been able to work him?
Not as much as I would like to, but we did have a friend of Suzanne's stop by a few days ago, and she showed me some training techniques with Jags primarily, where we have a bucket of grain and we try and keep them away from it and only let them get to the grain when we allow it. So I kind of tried a little bit of that with Augie when I was feeding hay. I didn't have a chance to get the tarp out, unfortunately. So,
well, no, that's okay. Because if you're doing that, you're setting up a situation where you're making it so that horse really wants to do something else, not what you want, but you're making them mind. So that's fantastic. That's just another good tool, and it's a mental tool for them, because you're not trying to push them around or do anything other than just make them have boundaries respected that you set up, and that's perfect.
Yeah.
So how did that go? Tell us a little bit about that.
It was pretty okay, I'd say. I'm still working on my timing, which was something I was really impressed with Suzanne's friend. Is she was spot on. She knew what she was looking for, and I was kind of still learning that, I guess. So it was mostly just making sure my timing is good when they try to come and get the food, to make sure I'm backing them off, and making sure they're actually backing up and not just scooting forward, stopping, and then scooting forward again.
Right.
So
yes, very good.
Augie did okay with it. Jax was a little better. But yeah, it was fun. It was
good.
A new experience.
And timing is everything.
Yeah.
And the whole timing is you got to get a sense for being able to see them think or feel them think. And when they're thinking about doing something, that's when you correct it. Don't let it get to the body stage or then movement. But when it does, then you completely correct it. So, well, that's good. I'm glad that that was another perspective and another little bit of tools that you can use. And really, it's just different things for the horse. To me, the whole concept is exactly the same. It doesn't change. It's about timing. It's about asking them. It's about rewarding them, and then putting more pressure on when they need it. Release of pressure. That's really it. All right. So what are you going to do with him right now? Let's make him do something. What do you want to work
I was making him stand on this mat, and he's not too happy about it. So
that's tough. Perfect. Yeah, and one of the things that you can do is the same kind of thing. Doesn't matter whether it's a mat, and sometimes right now you've got a visual cue for him to stand on. He can see that. He can feel it. There's another thing you can do along with that even gives this more, I call it definition to the lesson, and that is scratch a circle in the dirt about, as big around as your arms are, or you can make it bigger, you can make it smaller, but they don't really necessarily see that. And the ground doesn't change. It's all the same to them, but it's a visual cue for you to do exactly the same thing. But now they don't have something to cue onto where they need to stand or need to step. They just need to be in a spot that you tell them. And so you can progress to that. And when you're doing that, then they're like, oh, okay, she just wants me to move here. I have no idea why. I don't know why I'm being corrected, but I need to just do it and accept it. And that's when you can really get that. If that makes some sense to you, that you do that without using that visual cue. So I like what he's doing now. So how long have you been doing this? Just today or last couple of days?
Just today.
Okay, good. He looks really nice and calm. He's not fighting it, not doing anything. You can, and even with that, you can progress for that. See, like the center square that his near side hind is on, you could actually square him up a little bit and then make him put his offside hind in the square to the right of that, or to the west of it for you, and make him stand in those ones with still having a visual cue for yourself.
Yeah.
I like this. Okay. Well, he's not doing much. Let's move him over to the other one and have him stand in some spot.
Okay.
Look how much better he's moving for you.
I know.
Very good.
Oh my, there you go. Good job.
Now, if you want him to back up to, there we go. Oh, nice. Very good. And when he does that, when he moves, when he stops, when he does what you want, never forget to praise him. Always praise him for that. And they'll learn that pretty soon you can get them to do things with just your verbal cue, and you're reinforcing exactly what you're doing by just, not even touching them. Look at that. He's almost going to go to sleep. Fantastic. Fantastic. Well, let's grab the tarp. Have you got it handy?
Yeah.
Let's do that. Let's grab the tarp and let's flog that thing all over him, and then we're going to move on to some other things with it.
Hey, buddy.
Now, he was really good about standing last time. He was just fidgeting a little bit, but wasn't trying to spook or blow away anywhere, was he? Does I recall?
No, he was pretty good.
We got to get the camera to follow you a little bit here. Or swap cameras. There we go.
Stand.
Beth has to move it up now. There we go. Look at that. Got a nice loose. You're not putting any pressure really on his lead rope. I like this. Very calm. Lots of noise.
Good job. you go. Good boy. Back over.
Very good. Yeah, put him back in place where he needs to be. Move him back over.
Over.
So as quick as possible, move him back over.
Yeah. Oh.
Good. Yeah, I mean, one thing we got to work on is that he doesn't move at all.
Great. Okay. We'll try that one again. There you go. Good boy.
Good.
Good job.
He's becoming a different horse.
Yeah, what about that? No. Back. Back up.
Oh, good job.
Oh. Over.
Good job. That was great
There you
timing.
go. Good boy.
You were actually a little slow on the timing, but it was very good. Your correction was good. Yep.
There you go. Good job.
Good.
Up. There you go.
Good job. Excellent. Excellent correction.
Back.
Very good. You had a lot going on there. That's really good, Nicole. Very good. Yeah, back that foot up there, right there. Make him stand right in that spot.
Got it. Good boy.
Very good. And this correction, this constant correction of him is exactly what he needs. He needs to be completely and utterly controlled, because he thinks he can kind of do one little thing, he'll just keep doing it. And any horse is this way, but it just takes a little bit longer to get there with him because he's Augie.
Yeah. There you go. Good job. Okay.
And I'd like you to, yeah, there you go. Reach up and pull that. He has to stand. Nice. We want him to stand just like that, and he'll keep raising his head up at times. But we'll get there with it. Good. The leg back. Very good. Very good.
Good boy. Good job. Yeah, good job.
I must have just a little bit of lag between your video and the sound.
Yeah, I think there is a bit of a delay.
Yeah, it's a little bit more than normal because I hear the tarp move. So let me give when you're done adjusting that, yeah, just kind of let it sit over his head for a little bit, or at his head.
Okay.
I need to kind of get in through with you to see where you're at. So let me know when you stop. Now, hold your hand up the minute you hear me, like from right now. Wow, that's like a full 6 seconds. So, okay, no wonder I'm...
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Okay, you can put your hand down now.
Maybe someone can text James, maybe Beth or Suzanne text James and see if there's a way to fix that.
Yeah, this is kind of like the old days when we had a long, frustrating delay, but
Yeah.
he said somebody's on it, so this is good. But no, what you're doing, what I'm seeing you do, and as after the fact, you're already doing it, is you're holding him and literally his feet to the fire. If the ground was the fire, you're making him stand exactly where it needs to be. And it is really good that you're continually and constantly on him about not moving. And he's going to move it. We're trying to make him move by using the tarp, but at the same time, we're wanting him to not move by using the tarp. So we're accomplishing two different things. We're getting him to listen to you, to not move, but then we're getting him desensitized by correcting him when he moves until he doesn't move with that tarp on him. If that makes sense to you, it's fairly complicated. Yeah. We're doing two mental things with him for two different purposes using the same tool. And so if you can just grab that up between his ears and you get a chance, and then just go ahead and just don't even hesitate, just pull it straight off of there, and we'll work on that where you're just going to reach up, pull it. There you go. I think we've closed that delay a little bit. Better. Not bad. Did he even step back?
He leaned back a little bit, but he didn't step.
Good. So do that exact same thing again. Let's just keep working on that until he does not move or doesn't even want to lean back. Very good. And I know you're only pulling about half of the width of the tarp, which is okay. Yeah, there you go. Now you're increasing it. Good. Very good. Oh, I love that. He didn't move his feet. There, he moved that foot. And that's not bad because he's just kind of steadying himself. But there you go. Getting back into the right exact spot you want him into. Very good. Keep going. Go over about one step on his front, too. Move that front over towards his offside a little bit more. And that because he has moved towards you one step. And we're going to be kind of Nazis about this. Yeah, I've still got a pretty good delay.
Yeah. Dan. Good boy.
Good. I just saw you pull it off of his forehead or off of his face.
Good boy.
Good. He's not trying to pull that head away from you. Very good. We just need to and it's going to be very repetitive. This is where it's like watching paint dry, but this is where you're going to get really good responses from him where he's going to go, you know what? Okay, I get it. I just don't care. It doesn't matter. It doesn't hurt.
Boy.
I'll let Nicole play her silly game with that blue tarp. Yeah. I like that he started to, when you threw that up last, he picked that head up and you kind of stopped until he brought his head back down and then pulled it off. That's exactly the right thing. You want him to give and stop what he's doing. Be nice and calm. Now you're pulling. There you go.
Good boy.
Very good. Very good. Oh, it's hung up on his nose on that one. Very good.
There you go.
Very nice. Dropping his head for you. I like that. Not moving at all is so important.
Back.
Yeah, a little shorter lead so that your arm doesn't have to move quite so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good job. I like that. I like your holding it there. Yes. Good. He has to just stand quiet and trust you.
Okay.
That off or near side hind leg is just cocked. That's good. He's resting. Good. Good job. You step back and you pull him right back into where he needed to be. There you go. Make him step back a little bit. He went about a half a step on you. Very good job. You're already correcting him, and I'm not seeing it in the delay. I'm sorry, Nicole.
You're all good. There you go.
Yeah, but the better he gets at this, where he's hanging his head down and you're just pulling it, pretty soon now you can start shaking that tarp a little bit too.
Back over. Oh. Back over.
Oh, he moved way over that time, so maybe he might be just trying to, there you go, good. Just testing you. Because you haven't changed anything.
Good job. No. You're good. Good boy.
Very good. He's getting better, better and better every day, every time you do this. Oh, I like that, dropping that head down, not throwing it back. he's still wanting to just kind of make sure he gets off of him in a hurry. And that's why he's dropping that head.
Yeah.
He's figured that out. But doing much better. So let's kind of just hang it over his face and let it sit there for a bit.
There you go. No.
And then when he complies with that really well, then let's go ahead and just pull it so it's just about to cover his eyes. And then just keep working it further and further and further over his face a little bit at a time. We should be able to get him to just stand there with his face completely covered. No movement, just nothing but trust. And talk to him while he does that, making sure you're comforting him and say, "Oh, you're good boy," because he knows what that means.
There, good job. Okay.
Very good. See how he's standing a little straighter now? Yeah. Very good. Yep. Good. Oh, I like what I'm seeing.
You're right. Good job, Augie.
Very good.
Look at it.
Oh. Very good.
There you go. Good job. Oh, he's chewing.
Good.
There you go. Good job. Good job. Oh, it's almost off. Good job.
There we go. I like that a lot. He did step back about a half a step with that hind. I'm not worried. I'm not too worried about it. Let's just square him back up, make him stand with all fours even, and then just continue what you're doing for a little bit.
There you go. Good job. You got it.
Good. Oh,
Good
I like dropping that head. Very good. Yep. You'll notice how when you talk to him, you can see it in his eyes. He kind of softens and he's like, "Oh, okay, I got this. I'm all right."
Mm-hmm.
Just a trust.
There you go. Good job. You got it. Oh, head down.
Good.
Head down. You're okay.
Very good.
Oh, he's just chewing on the tarp now.
That's funny. Try to work more on this week too, because he's doing very well, much better than I expected him to do. And especially with that head being covered, because last time he was okay with it, but he definitely did not want to not be able to see. And he's kind of getting over that now. He's still moving around, but he's only moving his head. He's not moving his feet around, doing what he's supposed to do. And you're comforting him, letting him know he's okay. So he's learning to trust your voice and the tone of your voice, what that means.
Sit down. You're okay. There you go. Good job.
Outstanding. Outstanding.
Good job, Augie.
Very nice. What we'll do, Nicole, if you want to, we just got probably just a couple minutes left with him, and then we need to start working on Jax. Let's take him over and tie him up to the big steel, and just let him pack that if it'll stay on his back. Let's just take him over to the hitching post, the big steel one, tie him up, and then I want to show you some things you can do with his feet with this tarp as well. And now he's going to be tied, so you got to kind of watch it. But I don't anticipate he's going to have us worried about having done that. That he's going to stand there, he's going to be calm, he's going to be quiet while he does it. Yeah, his demeanor, his whole body carriage, everything is changing as it should in the right direction. Very good. So tie him up fairly short.
Okay.
All right. Now grab that tarp and put it between his front feet. And what I want you to do is just kind of use the tarp as a cradle. And instead of putting your hands down to pick his feet up, pick it up with the tarp. Does that make sense to you? Kind of like you're wrapping a rope around it, only you're using the tarp to do it. And just manipulate his feet that way. And to him, it's the same thing. He knows it's a tarp. It's all kind of schizological for him. There you go.
You said pick them up with the tarp?
Yeah, yep. Just use the tarp to pick it up and go behind and in front. Stretch that leg out, too. Because it's still going to make noise, and it's going to take a foot away from it. You might want to step back, but that's all right. There we go. Hold it up. Just cradle it with that tarp. Notice how he's getting a little bit more squirmy and moving around?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're taking that foot away.
There you go.
And you still got that tarp hanging around there, and it's just an exercise in just adding stimulus, doing something. You know, horses don't necessarily like to have a foot taken away from them if they can help it. It's all about being able to run from something, but it's the same thing. It's something big and bad and blue, and it makes all kinds of billowy sounds and gets big, but it's still holding his foot. Now you can do the same thing. He looks pretty good. Set it down, and then just work his leg forward. Just pull it out forward with it. The same thing. You can, you know, his hoof might be the only thing that kind of sets in the tarp, but that's just fine. There you go. Yeah. Bring it down low. Bring it forward.
There you go. Good job.
Excellent. Now, as you do that, just kind of rattle that tarp a little bit, too.
Okay, Augie.
Yep. Make him stand. Correct him.
Okay.
All right. Good. Can you drop it down a little bit so you're just picking at just the hoof and fetlock up instead of his whole leg? That'll be a lot less. You'll have more leverage that way.
There you go. Good boy.
Drop it down just as far as you can. Oh, look at him chew. He's not horribly worried about it because he's resting a leg, a hind leg. Very good. And if you do that with all fours, that is going to be a really, really good thing to do. Front and backward like that, all the way around. It's just more of the same work with the tarp, with a little bit different context to him. And it's just doing more. It isn't just that it's over his back or over his head. And you're not really holding him. You're doing it all with the tarp. There you go. Get that thing low. Good. 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 All right. I think you get the idea what you need to do. If you can work on that a little bit this week, that would be a muy good thing.
Yeah. Cool.
All right. Well, just go ahead and let him go. Yeah. And I don't know if we're going to work jacks right away. Now, I would say just continue doing what you're doing. You can already see he's getting a lot better. And we're going really slow with him, but he is getting a lot better. And I know you're not able to work with him during the week as much as you want to, which, you know, every day, if you can work him a couple of times a day, every day, when you're really training in the short term or for production to get them trained and done. That's what you're going to do. But as it is right now, you're doing great. It's a little slower this way, but we're still getting some meaningful work done, getting some things for him that he really needs. So good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't know whether you need to grab Jax or we're going to show a video with Suzanne. I don't know if she stepped away or not.
Yeah, I'm right here, Brandon, and I'll share my screen so you can bring us up to date on your calving this year.
Okay.
And Nicole can go get Jax then.
There we go. We'll fill some time here. This works out well.
Yeah, that's great.
Good job, Nicole. Really good job.
Beth, you need to let me share my screen. Okay, Brandon, here we go.
All righty.
Hey, good morning from the Hash Knife. I'm going to show you a little something that came up with this calf. Normally, most calves, I mean, the vast majority of them are calved, and within a couple minutes, they're up on their feet and doing just exactly what he's trying to do right now, and that's grab a little something to stick in the belly, get some colostrum, and start out life. You'll notice, I get in here a little closer, this guy could hardly get up and struggled. He would get up and flop down, fall down on his hind end, and just couldn't seem to get his feet under him. It was dark out, and I couldn't see real well. I thought, well, he's just having a little extra struggle here. So I let him go the next morning, come out, and you can see how his hind end is a little kind of peaked. There's not a lot of muscle definition underneath from his tail down to his hock. You see it's kind of hollowed out. And he stands up straight on his front feet, and see how he walks. And if you notice his hock, sometimes it overextends. Like those flexor ligaments are a lot longer than they should have been. And I'm not sure exactly what happened, other than maybe he, in utero, was stretched out a little bit more, had some pressure on those legs or something, and just didn't have the ability to pull his legs up, so they were stretched out. And we'll see when he moves a little bit. What I mean by that, he's about 3 days old now, and he's still kind of struggling. See how his legs are a little shaky? And we'll move here and get him in and kind of get him to try to use those legs a little bit. For a calf this age, look how his butt is kind of peaked and sticks out. There's not a lot of muscle there. He's developing, he's getting better over the last couple of days, but he still struggles. And his legs are mostly getting normal where they would really hyperflex. And you can see how it kind of moves a little bit now. And I've been calling him affectionately from the old classic, this is Tiny Tim. Sometimes you just got to call him something. And look at his knees, pretty swollen, pretty big, how he steps on his toes, which a lot of times is an indication of a hard birth. So whether he's in utero, see how his hind legs they're just kind of there and little stilts, but he's at least flexing them much better than he was. They're kind of, I think, just shortening up. And of course, he's going to follow her around in this crowd. And I'm keeping him up close. She's eating hay, and he actually goes and beds on it. But look how wobbly he is. And that first day, I actually had to hold him up. Lisa and I had to hold him up and have her in a head catch so that he could get on that bag and get something to drink. But after a couple of days, we did that a couple of times, and he was able to start nursing, get up and be steady enough that he nursed on his own, and has done pretty well since then. So we're pretty happy about it. But look at those hind legs. They just kind of shiver and shake back and forth and kind of stilty. But he may have had a little harder birth also with those front feet being stiff like that. Sometimes if they curl up, curl back, and they don't want to extend, that can be an indication of a really hard birth and some pressure on that neck and stuff as it comes through the birth canal. But he doesn't have a lot of that. But mostly the big problem was these long, great big, overextended ligament issues and some little hock issues. But he's, after a couple of days, coming out of it. We'll see how he does in the future here. Hey, good morning from the Hash Knife.
All right.
I'm going to show you a little.
Now, this is an update on that same guy, isn't it, Brandon?
It is. Yes, it is.
Well, it's been about, 3-4 more days. We let this little guy, I'm affectionately calling Tiny Tim, move around, get a little stronger, and look how he's standing now. Much, much more stable, and he moves better. Legs are more normal, and he's a big calf, getting some muscle development on that hind end a little bit, and kind of setting more normal on those feet. So this is really a good indication of how he's going to make it. It looks like he kind of went down a little bit there, but he's not completely super strong. But he is good enough, I think, to get him out of this corral and let him out in the pasture with his mother. See, those joints are still a little bit swollen, or look large anyway. When you compare him to this calf here, it's a little bit smaller, but look at how her leg conformation is compared to his. Even though that leg is back, it's straight, and the other one on the other side is very straight, because those ligaments, I think, are still stretched out a bit. And Mom's not very happy with me, but tough. So we might just give you a little bit more later on if something changes, but it looks to me like this guy is going to be so sound and indistinguishable from the rest that we won't need to worry about him. Another good success story.
We had that same problem when Augie was born, Brandon. I had to confine him to a stall until his ligaments would extend. Dick Richardson didn't want him running around because they were same issue in utero. He was tall, long legs.
Long legs, yep. And what do you do with them? You just got only so much of an area that you can put them in, and they don't move them around a lot later on. As they age. So the problem is if you don't kind of confine them, then you can do some damage to those joints. You know, they flip and flop and fall and overextend and hyperextend, and you can cause damage. So you try to limit that as much as possible.
But it was not as noticeable on Augie as it was on your calf, particularly with the swollen joints.
Yeah, and those joints are they're really big. And it happens. I mean, you know, they'll have some joints that are abnormally large because the way they've been folded up in utero. And, you know, the swelling will go down, and you can't tell in usually a week. You have no idea that they had any kind of an ailment to them at all.
Well, I tell you, all of these things just come from experience. The depth of your knowledge is astounding.
Well, I wish that
from years. I know it's come from years of doing it, but
yeah, but I wish that were so true. I mean, to me, there's things that come up, and I go, God, what would Dad say about this? What would my grandpa say? I wish I could ask him. Because those guys were, I think, way more knowledgeable than myself. And it's hard to ask them what would be a case until it comes up. Some of these things, they just don't happen as you're growing up and doing things. And, once every 40 years or 50 years, you might see an issue, and you just deal with it best you can.
Oh, absolutely. I didn't recognize it on Augie. I had to get the vet out here. I had no idea what was going on, frankly. Those experiences really stay with you, and you learn to look for those kinds of things.
Yeah, no, that's right. You're always aware of it. Hey, they're just not quite moving right. Is this a hip issue? Is it a back issue? Is it a neck issue? And you just start working your way back, and you go, okay, I think I see what's going on. And most of the time, if you do just what like Dr. Richardson did with Augie, give him some time, give him a chance to just kind of grow out of it, and it's really kind of just grow into it, and give them some time to shorten some ligaments that, you know, it's not their fault. They didn't do anything, but just kind of the way it is. If you have ever been into yoga or martial arts or anything like that, you just don't start out being able to do the splits. But if you do a little bit all the time, pretty soon you can do the splits, and you never thought you would have been able to. But, you know, it's the same kind of deal.
Exactly. Okay, well, I see that Jax is at the rail now, and I do believe Jax had his feet trimmed today. So let's ask Nicole how that went for him as well.
Yeah.
Are you there,
good.
Nicole?
Hi, I'm here.
Okay, I'll hand it back to you two.
So he got a good trimming today, all 4 feet?
Yeah, he did. I watched a little bit of it, and he seemed to be doing just fine. I think he got a little bit fussy with one of his feet, but overall, our farrier didn't have any complaints, so that's
Good.
all I'm looking for.
So was he fidgety early or was it late?
A little later.
Okay, so he was just kind of getting tired of the whole thing.
Yeah.
And was it on his hinds that he was more fidgety on than the fronts?
Yeah, I think it was one of his hind feet that he was like trying to pull it away a little bit.
Okay, yeah, he either just didn't like it, or maybe he was getting a little bit of a cramp in a muscle or something too. That can happen. So, but guy, if he didn't throw a major fit, then that's a big win.
Right.
Like it. All right. So we have not been able to get this guy to spook, really. That's good. We like that.
Yeah.
So have you got something let's really let's go all out and see if we can get him to pull against that inner tube.
Okay.
Because we're about done with this inner tube. If we don't get much out of him, then this is just a fail safe. You know, we try to make sure that he's not going to get hurt doing anything. And there we go. He hears it. I heard it.
Get the tarp out again.
Yeah, just walk up in front of him like a boss. Don't be shy. Rattle that thing as you go. There you go. He's not even pulling that thing tight. And when he does, he's moving his nose away. So just kind of, it looks like the wind is kind of at your back a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead and just throw that thing in the air, and hopefully it'll land towards his face, and see what happens.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. And he pulls, and he's got a step on it. Look at that. Let him think about it. He's got some tension on it still. And he comes forward. Look at that. I like that.
Good job.
Let's do that again. We may not get much of a reaction out of him this next time.
Thank you. Over.
Very good. Did you see how he stepped forward? Good. That's not a bad thing at all right there. Look at his ears are laid back a little bit. He's like, I'm not sure about this. I don't know why Nicole thinks she needs to torment me like this, but I'll just step forward, smell the tarp, and take the pressure off my face. And those are all good things right there. Looks pretty relaxed. Very good. Geez, Nicole. That's pretty dang good. He's such a laid-back horse. I'm really impressed with him.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do this. Let's grab that tarp and then start sacking his hind feet with him, getting him to move back, and so he'll move away from you. And this time, instead of him trying to not get him to move, we're actually wanting him to move, but it's not a big deal because this is early on in his training. Oh, I like that. See how I step forward? Pressure is off.
Yeah.
Step forward. Fantastic. So go ahead and just flog that around his hind feet, front feet. There you go. His belly. There you go. Okay, now stop. Then he comes forward. Look at that. Very good. Praise him for that. Really praise him for that.
Good job. Good
Go
boy.
and pet him. Pet that neck. There we go. Good job, Jax. Now, if you back up, he'll probably come forward some. Is his breathing a little faster?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of anxiety there.
job.
That's okay. That's completely acceptable and to be expected because we're kind of coming at him pretty hard. So why don't you go on the other side of him and do the same thing? Get him to peel around the other way. And look, as you move, he's going to move. Brings himself back, comes around. Oh my goodness. Look at how good that boy is. And then when he really pulls away, then go ahead and quit and let him come forward. There you go. Look at that. He's always releasing that pressure. Very nice. Very nice. He's not got much pressure. He's got a little pressure. Notice the inner tube is kind of picked up a bit and his halter lead is straight. So he's got a little bit of pressure there. Well, let's see if he releases that here in a second. Let's give him a little bit of time. And he's kind of equally spooky on either side, which is fine. And he's not really spooky. I mean, he's just moved away from it. He should be about to come forward. There we go. Nice. Praise him.
Good job.
Really good.
Good boy.
Yeah. Pat him on the neck. And he's okay. It's okay for him to back up like this because we really tried to tell him we wanted him to back up, right? So he did what we wanted.
Yeah.
But we didn't praise him for doing it because we don't want him to think that that's what we wanted. That praise, when you praise, is just as important as to what you're praising. So, all right, look at that, standing nice and quiet. I would really like to throw that at his feet. Just throw that out and hit those front legs and see what he does.
Okay. Oh, totally missed there.
Boy, the only thing that could be bigger is the barn, Nicole. There you go. Yep. Yeah. Look at him. He's backing up to the point where he thinks he shouldn't back any longer or any further, but look where the inner tube is at and where that halter lead is just pulling it up barely. So that is all he wants to do is go to where he starts to feel the pressure. And now if you back up a step, he might come forward. And then he'll give to the pressure and he'll come onto that tarp probably. We'll give him a few more minutes here. But he does it. This is very, very nice. Very good. Oh, he's wanting to actually smell it. That's even better. There we go. That's what we're looking for. And it's okay if he wants to paw it. That's fine. We don't mind that at all. Praise him for that. Lots of praise.
Good job. Good boy.
Completely reduced and took all of the tension off that, really. Is he chewing a little bit?
Oh, I haven't seen chewing yet.
Okay. I couldn't tell. I'm getting a little shadow around his mouth. I couldn't see what he was doing. So there you go. Yeah, go ahead and pick that up now. Let him smell. Yeah, so he might back up to it, but there we go. Let him smell. And if you back up, he might come forward towards it. And that's always important. Have them come towards that pressure. Right there. See if he'll come to it. Attaboy. Attaboy. Let him smell it if he wants to. I'd love to see him reach up there and smell that. If he does, we'll just wipe him down with it a little bit, praise him for it. Yep, there's one more step.
Good boy.
Very good. And then I think the thing to do is just kind of go up to his neck and rub him with it, praise him with it, and believe it or not, we're done. That's a lot with exactly the reaction we wanted from him. Very good. There he's chewing. I can see it now.
Good boy. Good job.
Yeah, get your hand on him first.
You did a good job. Good boy.
There we go. Very good. Let's go to the back side or the other side now and do the same thing. Just work your way around. Touch him first with your hand. Get your hand up on his neck and reassure him, praise him. Now work the halter. It's tarp up there. There you go. See the difference in how he responds to you when you touch him first?
Yeah.
You're familiar. You're learning. He's learning that he can trust you and to touch your neck. He's just fine. That's okay. And then that tarp is secondary. It's like, okay, she's touching me. It's okay. The tarp must be okay. Very good. Oh, I'm liking this. This is very good. All right. I know this is a short one for him, and we want to keep it short, but very good job. And if you want to progress with him during the week, that's okay. And we might just take this inner tube away from him and see how he does later on. Maybe next week we'll take the inner tube off, try to do the same thing with a light spook, or just to get him to pull against it, and then see if he releases that pressure super fast, because he might, because he builds resistance as he pulls, but when he gets out there to, where he can't pull any resistance anymore, he knows to come forward. We might be able to get him to do that with just the halter and lead on that steel hitching post without the inner tube to kind of be basically it's that sponge in between. So very good. Yeah. Your timing. I like what you did this last week with Suzanne's friend. She helped you with some timing, of which we've talked a little bit about, but I have neglected to call you. I've been so busy with cabin. It's
You're all good.
Trying to get a nap here and there, but I will give you a call. But whatever she did, I can see that you've increased your timing. That has helped you. I'm glad to see that. That was very good, and I'm glad that she came over. That's good. You're starting to see these horses with a little bit more tune about when they're thinking of doing something. So good job. I'm glad for you. That was good to do.
Great. Well, thank you so much.
All right.
We'll see you next week.
Next week we'll plan on it. We'll see you, everybody.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.